On February 21, 1965, the air in New York's Audubon Ballroom hummed with tension and anticipation. At 39, Malcolm X stepped onto the stage, ready to deliver another pivotal speech since leaving the Nation of Islam. Hundreds of supporters leaned forward, unaware that these would be his final moments. When 3 bullets pierced his body, the man once branded a demon of black radicalism stared out, his eyes reflecting a newfound vision, a world where equality transcended race. Malcolm X's life was a forge, his spirit tempered in the fire of rage to emerge as a symbol of redemption, a journey that transcends his own story, asking questions about resistance and reconciliation. Born in 1925 in Nebraska, Malcolm Little entered a world already hostile to his black skin. His father, a Baptist preacher and civil rights activist, was lynched by white supremacists, his body was left strung from railroad tracks. Traumatized, Malcolm's mother descended into madness, and the family was torn apart. Shuffled through white foster homes, Malcolm learned early that his skin color was a crime. Youth became a rebellion. In Boston and New York, he drifted into crime, dealing drugs, running gambling rings, robbing stores. He straightened his hair to mimic white standards, adopting the nickname Detroit Red, a bitter joke against the racism that defined his existence. At 21, a robbery conviction landed him in prison, where a 10-year sentence became his turning point. Behind bars, he taught himself to read, devouring philosophy, history, and religious texts. Most critically, he encountered the Nation of Islam, NOI, a group preaching that blacks are God's chosen people, whites are devils, and separation was the only path to freedom. Paroled in 1952, he discarded Little, a surname he called a slave master's brand, and adopted X, a symbol of his stolen African heritage. As a NOI leader, his oratory blazed like wildfire. "You tell me, when a dog attacks you, do you respond with nonviolence?" he thundered. "When a white man cracks your skull with a billy club, do you kneel to pray? No. We defend ourselves by any means necessary." To millions of blacks suffocating under segregation, his voice was a lifeline, a raw, unapologetic cry for dignity. In 1960s America, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. stood as opposing poles of the civil rights movement. King urged, "Love your enemy," Malcolm retorted, "Don't let your oppressor define your resistance." King advocated integration, Malcolm demanded a separate black nation. His radicalism made him a lightning rod, white media labeled him a race war insider, the FBI tracked him as a national security threat, and within black communities, opinions split, some hailed him as a truth-teller, others feared he'd inflame violence. His fury was not unearned. In 1963, when Birmingham police turned fire hoses and attack dogs on black children protesting segregation, Malcolm raged, "This is the peace nonviolence brings. When your kids are doused, your brother's jailed, do you still preach love?" Yet his ideology hardened into rigidity. He rejected the U.S. Constitution, dismissed voting as betrayal to a white system, and even called King an Uncle Tom. The crack in his certainty came in 1964, when he split from the NOI. He uncovered its leader, Elijah Muhammad, as a hypocrite, lying to followers, engaging in affairs, and fearing Malcolm's growing influence. Hatred and lies, Malcolm realized, no matter how wrapped in doctrine, betray humanity. In April 1964, Malcolm embarked on the Hajj to Mecca. There, he witnessed a revelation: white Swedes, brown Indians, black Africans all knelt side by side at the Kaaba, embracing as equals. "Tears blurred my eyes," he wrote. "For the first time, I saw, white is not devilry, black not sainthood, we are all human, all equal." The pilgrimage shattered his worldview. He shed Malcolm X for El-Hajj Malik el-Shabazz, meaning Pilgrim Malik Shabazz. He championed Pan-Africanism, urging U.S. blacks to ally with global people of color against oppression. He no longer rejected whites, declaring, "The enemy is not white skin, it is racism itself." In 1965, he toured 10 African nations, welcomed by leaders in Ghana and Egypt. To Nigerian youth, he said, "Our struggle isn't to dominate others, but to walk in sunlight as equals." Even Martin Luther King Jr., once critical, acknowledged, "Malcolm's mind is maturing." When Malcolm fell, a half-written speech in his pocket read, "We must unite, not because we are the same, but because we all crave freedom." His killers, 3 NOI fanatics, were caught, but questions linger. Did the FBI, which monitored him closely, play a role? Malcolm's legacy outlived his death. His autobiography, ghostwritten by Alex Haley, became a Bible for the Black Power movement. "A man who hasn't found something to die for isn't fit to live," he wrote, inspiring generations. The Black Panthers, born in the 1960s, blended his "defend our rights" toughness with his later call for solidarity. Today's Black Lives Matter movement still echoes his demand to confront systemic racism. His greatness lies not in perfection, but in his courage to unlearn. From hating whites to embracing humanity, from division to unity, he proved, true resistance isn't being consumed by anger, but thinking critically amid pain. As he said in his final speech, I may not see victory, but as long as others carry the torch, light will come. The Audubon Ballroom now houses apartments, but a plaque marks where Malcolm fell, no grand words, just his name and dates. Passers-by hurry by or pause, reflecting. The man once called a demon endures as an awakener, a mirror to humanity's complexities and brilliance.